Welcome back, race fans, here to SVR. My name is Webbo, and we are going to talk to you today all about G1, and our awesome new season as we begin. We're in Interlagos for today's race, and this is how things are looking for the way we get underway. Today, we've got Igala. Let me get onto the G1. I had it all set up on another screen. Let's do it this way, shall we? G1 Hector Motorsports will be Uncle Pants and Nasty in the 320, 38 for Uncle Pants. Team Oro will be Phil and Red. Today there's no Red isn't in Team Red, which is slightly confusing. Then we've got Obsidian Racing in the darker black to grey colours of Apex Not Found, and Dirtbag Larry, and the all Canadian, all neighbours pretty much, Zelen Racing, otherwise known as Brokaga, but the black and the green will be Pat Finn and Wask, the drivers who took us to such a thrill ride in the rookie AN division last season, joining forces this time, former rivals turned friends, turned lovers. Who knows? Anyway, it is Morado with Nicky Lauda and Bijan. Arya and Tequila Monkey are reunited in Team Azul Racing. That will be a strong one. And Argento will be Matty and Mate. And someone was trolling the commentator there. The 505 Mati Kake and the 142 MatejD VRX8 will be in the seat for Team Argento. Let's get you trackside then, because our drivers are just getting out onto that track, and hopefully we will be able to see what is happening out there. Let's click over there, and I will do my first my proper hellos to everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us at this time. We have got Stormborn watching, which is great. Stormborn is the wife of Arya, so good to have the family back together on the SVR channel. Always good to see you all. Scavy's here, Grinch, Joe has Chris, Yanks watching, which is awesome. We've got Kim, Run DMC, Rents watching for Red as usual. We've got Andre for Mate or VRX, and then we've got QT as well showing up here to say hi. Matav, Woody, everybody here ready to watch. I will try and do my best to keep my eye on all of the live chat if I possibly can, but there's a lot going on as usual. Pat Finn is the first driver out on the Interlagos straightaway as he gets fully powered on down the main start-finish straight, and he will start his first flying lap here on the soft tyres. Minimal fuel for qualifying session. I think it's just 10 minutes as my latest information anyway, through the S do Sena and into Curva del Sol, and he will then run it through the Reta Aposta, the opposite straight here around the one of the lakes of Interlagos. Hi to Stormborn, big hello to you. Good to have you with us. Down into Descida do Lago. Here, the descent towards the lake for Pat Finn in the Zelen Racing Team colour, and then we will wait for a very late braking point to get the car sliding nicely into the Ferradura and now Laranjinha corner before a short little acceleration point into Esse, and now through Pinheirino corner. Next up, a similar corner to Esse, it's Bico di Pato, slightly tighter with a slightly curved entry, and then we're going to look at Mergulo. Should be full throttle through here, I would imagine. Short shifting possibly when the tyres start to give up. Final real corner of the circuit is Yunsao, the junction, before you get an early apex, early throttle application, and then it's all about power all the way up the hill. Pat Finn is the first one out, then we will see everybody else's laps, and we will begin our season of qualifying laps underway. Hi to Keno, hi to Evil One as well. It's good to see. VRX has brought lots of drivers with him. 32.4 for Finn. Wask betters that by 0.6 of a second. Next up across the line is Tequila Monkey. He's a shade away from Wask, and Arya goes to the top. Matikake is in P2. Nasty's gone into 6th. Let's see where Red is right now. Red's about to get up there. It's Arya, Matikake and Wask 1, 2, 3 as we join red on board with the Oro Racing, I think they must be the Ferrari in P9, 15.1 seconds off the lead. We've got Nicky coming up next. Uncle Pants goes 9th. The top 3 stay the same. Team Morado's Nicky goes into P8. And let's see where everybody else is. Here is VRX, that everyone is here to support today, and great to see everybody with us. It is hard on that throttle now. Idemo Mate says Evil One, good, and Goron's here as well. So hello to all of you, and Just Jerso here supporting Nasty. VRX goes into P6, and I'm glad that his name is showing that way instead of his main name Mate, because it's very similar to his teammate. We've got Arya. I don't know why my curtain keeps showing up in the face cam feed over on my channel. It's very frustrating. It's supposed to be green screened. Anyway, we've got Arya following Tequila Monkey. This is a teammates giving teammates the tow. It's a very dark and moody looking day here at Interlagos, but no fear of rain, unfortunately. We can't be expecting that. Here comes Arya with a tow from Tequila Monkey. Will it be even faster across the line? It is even faster, you know. It's 24 thousandths of a second better into staying P1, extending the lead, and we've got Wask next up in the McLaren. No drivers behind him. He doesn't have the benefit of a tow with him here. The tyre wear is not particularly concerning for anybody. And hi to Andre as well, as he comes through into the next run. Then in the second sector of the lap, this is Wask in P2. He was second on the racetrack earlier on. He's got his teammate in front of him, and his teammate with a much slower time there. Let's see if we can't find where Pat Finn currently is. Here he is in P9. And that was a 1:32.1, 0.7 of a second away from the fastest time, which Wask is chasing down as we speak. We're staying with one of our Canadians here. We've got Canadians all through the GT3 paddock in the G1 division. Don't forget the G2 division is happening right now as well, but we will watch that race as live via replay later on in the week. As it's great to have everybody watching along. Yank's gone into P1 in the leaderboard on the live chat as well, so you can't let Yank get away with that one. Here comes Wask. No benefit of our slipstream for Wask. Can he better Arya's time? Oh, it's so close to his best. It's not the best by any stretch, but Pat Finn goes third, just 4 and almost a half tenth away from the pole position, just 1/10 away from his teammate. We've got Matikak in P4 with Dirtbag Larry in 5th here in the BMW. Any improvement from Larry possibly as he comes to the line? That's a PB, but he stays 5th. Tequila Monkey next up. Is he and Arya playing piggyback runs here, trying to use the draft from each other? I don't think so. That's Matikak in front. That's Nasty directly behind Tequila Monkey. Where is Arya at the moment? He is 0.3 of a second to the good in the pole position battle between himself and Wask, with Finn just 0.4 of a second away from him. Let's go back to Tequila Monkey. Don't forget, Tequila Monkey, our 2024 S1 champion, is into his second season of GT3 racing. And here we go then for Tequila Monkey. He's not going to be put off too much by Matty in front in P5. On the road anyway. That's Matty P5 directly in front. This will actually help Tequila Monkey as he comes through. Then I think this is the Lamborghini of Team Azul. So firing down on the exit of Yunsal. This should be fantastic for Tequila Monkeys. It's still Arya, but it's VRX who's second place now, a 1:31.5 ahead of Wask, slotting in that open gap between P1 and P2 that as was Arya, VRX, Wask. Here comes Tequila Monkey across the line. He goes 6th. Arya, I think there was a change up front, but Tequila Monkey goes into 6th position, back on row 3 at this stage. We've got Dirtbag Larry sprinting for the line, doesn't have the benefit of a slipstream. He's going to hug that pit wall, and he goes into 4th place. Dirtbag Larry, 0.3 of a second off pole. It is frighteningly close, 0.3 separating the top 4 drivers here, and it's under half a second for the top 6, 7, and just over half a second between first and 8th place Nicky Lauda right now. Arya is still on the provisional pole, but he is pushing the absolute limit of the track on the exit of Desierto del Lago as we run on, and he picks up a penalty for that. Let's ride with VRX. He just crosses the line. It's 8 minutes 50 on the clock at the moment of the 10 minutes as he then possibly cuts the apex in the Estos Senna. He's 0.3 of a second away from a provisional pole position, with Arya having to pay a penalty through the next lap. Let's see, can VRX first sector be it? It is not, just 0.2 of a second away. We'll cut over to Wask and see exactly how he's going, as that new toy smell is here to cheer on Dirtbag Larry. I'm loving the ID tags on YouTube today. Wask is so close to the absolute zenith of this pole position, but he's in P3. Dirtbag Larry in 4th place. This will not be it as Matty goes P2. Matty across the line, 0.2 of a second away from Arya. Can anybody touch Arya today? Arya's parked it up. He can't go any better. Let's have a look back at Pat Finn, shall we? And how his lap is doing through the Desierto del Lago. We go now with Pat Finn as we go. It is Arya, Matty, VRX, Wask, Dirtbag Larry, and this driver, Pat Finn, as we come towards the end of the 10 minutes. Finn will be running this one. Tequila Monkey in 7th. We've got Nicky Lauda in 8th. This is confirmed to be the final lap then for Finn. Anyone behind him, I wonder? Well, can't see anyone at this time, but it's Pat Finn in P6. Arya, Matty, VRX. Doesn't look like anybody can touch Arya's pole position time out there in the Lamborghini here at Interlagos. I don't want to speak too soon. It's so close at the front of the grid. A PB for Finn, but he's going to have to monster this final sector, and no benefit of a slipstream in front. It's going to be a mountain to climb as he climbs this hill all the way to the start-finish line here, chasing down Dirtbag Larry's 5th position. And it is, Wask is within sight, but possibly it's just a little bit too far for Pat Finn. Can we do better? It's not going to be better for Pat Finn, unfortunately. 6th position. It's Arya, who is your pole position driver, and he is touring back down the hill at the moment. I do wonder whether the stewards will enjoy that particularly. This isn't ideal for Arya in the green blue fade colour scheme, Azul matte black Lamborghini Huracan, and it's Matty in P2. It's Canada, Great Britain, I want to say it's Croatia, right, for VRX there with the red and white checker shield hiding behind the barrier VRX at the moment as Matty tours round. It's a fantastic run there for our drivers, as unfortunately things have just gone a little bit off for a second. I'm just going to have to find our way into the grid. I tell you what, while I do that, why don't you have a look at svr-racing.com, and I will go to the calendar while I try and find my way back in to the lobby. So I will have to find my way in there and wait for a new update. This is the G1 calendar then. As things stand, we have 12 rounds of the championship starting here in Interlagos, finishing at the Great Bathurst racetrack. I'm going to try and find the new lobby. So let's hope that I can get in, because at the moment I've been kicked out, or it said host has ended the game on me anyway. So yeah, very frustrating. But yeah, big hello to everybody joining us today. It's fantastic to have you all with us. Tell me where you're joining us from. If we are on the big TV in the house as well, that's always the important one to hear from you. As Mata is saying, deja vu from last night here, Mata, and lots of people talking about poutine. We know that poutine is required in the Arya household on race day. It's absolutely essential. I think that the SVR crew are planning a poutine party for the end of the season, possibly. Mata watching in from Croatia. Great to have so many drivers joining us for this race, and great support for everybody. I hope, Sandra, you did furnish, you did share a poutine today. So yeah, waiting for a new lobby, unfortunately. Let's continue to look at the calendar. Watkins Glen, these are classic GT racing circuits, of course, the International GT Challenge and the Endurance GT3. So a mixture of great circuits. Watkins Glen will be next up. I just commentated a race this afternoon at Watkins Glen. It is a fabulous place to go racing. Then we go to the Daytona Road Course, home of the Rolex 24, of course, and the Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, for round 4. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in the 10th of May, and then on the 24th we go to Spa-Francorchamps, and we look for Fuji. Nürburgring, that's the Nordschleife 24-hour circuit, so it will be both the Nord and the Südschleife, possibly, or the GP circuit combination. Suzuka, Yas Marina, we go to Autopolis, and then finally sorry, I'm thinking and typing at the same time, trying to get back in the lobby if I can. Looks like I can get back in, hopefully. But yeah, it said lobby was closed by the host there. So hopefully I'll find my way back through. So hopefully we'll be back in and back on the screen. And there you can see the qualifying result then. Nobody qualified at all. No, qualifying result is on your overlay, thankfully. Thanks to Beragos for building out the overlay system for us for Hector. Good to have. So it's well, no, these are not the results because, of course, so many drivers disconnected. Looks like Arya, Matty, Red, Uncle Pants, and Apex Not Fan are on their way back in to the lobby. So let's see. It says race. Right, there's a lot of discussion going on, so we'll continue to just make plans. Just, talk amongst yourselves. Ask a question if you want to, if there's something you don't understand. But remember to visit svr-racing.com, and you can find links to my channel, Webber Red 5, out there, where I'm currently live with a face cam on an alternate screen. By the way, so get those views in as well, and you can find links to the merch store and ways to support SVR. We are looking for continued support here. Ren's obviously tuning in from Germany, as is Andre. Andre, you're originally Croatian. I thought you were another Red fan, but no, you are joining us from Germany as that. We've got Gelhes Chris, who I think is in London. And Mata says Nürburgring has 1 minute quali time. Good question. I think it's basically one lap, essentially, and it's just a typo. It's usually 10 minutes. I think it'll be one flying lap then for the drivers. So hopefully that will be the situation. Looks like we are getting everybody back into the lobby. It did hold up, but several people were kicked. So hopefully we're heading through. Andre's saying, I hope the lobby will not crash down like yesterday's lobby. Yeah, absolutely. And hi from Munich, Andre, as well. Yank the Tank watching from Boston. I don't know if you're doing a live watch party stream there, Yank, but yeah, hopefully looking. Marmado still has Bergstein as the logo, which is Igala, as it should be, of course. Bergstein Transport Service changing brand to Igala this season. Everything is just reorganizing on our screens, so yeah, no worries on that one. Yeah, we're looking forward to that Nürburgring round. It will be chaotic to say the least, and I need to get all my corner names learnt, don't I? Because I'm not good at that one. Just let me know if everything is running okay today. Hopefully you're all happy enough. I know we're in a lobby screen wait and a bit of a hold, but we're getting everybody back into the lobby, trying not to start without too many people. So yeah, that was the qualifying session. The qualifying overlay will hopefully change up a little bit. Indiana for Run DMC, nice. Nice indeed. Rizback says, damn, you are really broke, Webbo. What have I done? Why am I broke? What's going on? Thanks, Andre. Appreciate that. Why am I broke? You think it's my fault for the lobby, Rizback? I know I get blamed for a lot of things, but Beragos does blame Arya essentially for anything not running right. Yeah. So, just waiting then. Final drivers coming in. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Matt is fearlessly trying to get everybody together. We're just missing Arya and Tequila, so I mean, not a big deal, right? Oh, I see what you mean. I have only 624,000 credits. Yes, I did go on a bit of a spending spree recently, so I do need to sort that out for sure. I know what you mean now. You got me, Matt. Just shouting at everybody, "Don't go on track." Yeah, and Red was quite happy to continue without our top drivers in qualifying. Red just obviously making a non-sporting joke. We just thankfully got VRX back in. We managed to not have him in place. So Matt now has to, as the host, obviously reorganize our lobby. And VRX is struggling to get in apparently. Run some time trials. I will be in a lot of trouble, Rens, if I go and do that. I can tell you, because Matt, it will throw everything out. Because I'll suddenly become an entrant and just end up starting the race ahead of VRX, who hasn't been able to get back in yet. I think he has. There he is in P2. We can see him in Team Argento. If I've got my team names right, let me just get that together. Argento, yes, the silvery chrome colour is Team Argento in the RCZ Group 3. Dirtbag Larry is in the M6 GT3. Over on ACC, the M6 is very, very ill-favoured and not a favourite track at all, a favourite car at all. But over on GT7, I'm sure Larry will and Apex Not Found would be trying to make this one work for Team Obsidian. Now, Team Obsidian named after kind of the black colour, but they have gone for a space-themed blue-purple fade on their cars. Nikki has gone for this predominantly white Morado colour scheme. Morado sharing some colours there with our runners. I'm just waiting to see with Team Morado across the division. So this is a purple and green theme, and then a purple and pink theme for Hector Motorsports with Nasty and Uncle Pants at the wheel. Phil and Red in the Oro black and golden colours. And that's going to be a very nice looking car out there. There is some difference across the liveries, and I've been talking about this before. Azul looks like it's matte black on screen, especially on a cloudy day, but it is in fact a navy blue and then a green blue color fade, color shift pattern in the trim. But unfortunately, it ends up looking black and green, and black and green are the colours of our Pat Finn and Wask Zelen Racing group. So we're just getting a final grid check here. Arya in the Lamborghini Huracan in P1 ahead of Matty in the RCZ, and VRX, the sister car there. Nikki asking. Nikki could have gone to the bathroom in all the time we've been waiting. There we go, a 2-minute warning. So just time to get your drinks together, get snacks in place, and get everything ready for our race. So I will just take a quick break right. So Rents, you want me to go earn some credits on time trial? I should do that, absolutely. Yeah, I've got the ways and means to grind for those credits, but I just don't really have the need, or I guess I can't be bothered very much to make that happen. So I'll try and work it out and get a bit richer for next time. Yeah. Charles Chris is ragging me on my earnings as well, so that's yeah. I didn't realise it was Roast Webo's skill set at the moment. I think everybody knows that I'm not the best racer out there at all. Lots of people wishing everyone good luck. We are looking forward to it. We're just keeping everyone waiting to make sure that the excitement builds naturally. Of course, I'm sure we're ready. I'm just going to check in with who is streaming for us today. We've got Chupacabra, Bijan here. You'll see which driver I have selected because their number goes, their position goes red. And I'm just going to make sure that everybody's POVs are functioning a-okay. And that will just take me a few moments. You can see me just get everybody ready. So if you do see someone closing in on another driver and you want to see that one, then do shout up. I don't want to stay with one driver predominantly for too long. And I know that there was a request last time that I moved the POV up a little bit there, to make sure that everybody can see the tire wear. Oh, sorry, the boost, but that's not going to be a problem today because our cars don't have boost, of course. As we continue, so the drivers are getting underway, then getting ready to go racing for us. I will try and choose someone from near the back here and their stream, and we will go ready to race. So let's get everything ready and see what we want to see for the race as we get a strange camera to start the race, but that is of course for the rolling start here in G1 this season, which is great to see. Those Porsche Team Oro black and gold cars looking good. Arya, Matty, VRX, the top three as they get ready to go racing. It's dropped the clutch and go, go, go. And the drivers will probably find their way through the snaking Estel Senna for the first time quite easily. We might see some movement at the back of the grid, potentially. There is Wask in P4, getting Larry very close up behind him. And there is a little bit of contact on the way through the Estel Senna, through Curva del Sol for the first time. And this is a fabulous looking grid, even in this dark and dusky day here at Interlagos with the rain threatening throughout. Here comes Wask with the drive out of the Curva del Sol into the Ciudad del Lago, and he's side by side with VRX. It looks like Pat Finn has gone off the circuit. I'm afraid to say Pat Finn way out there on the outside of the circuit. Let's go back and see exactly what happened to him. We've got a Team Azul car on the inside directly behind, who is then posted into him in a pinball pattern. And that's Azul off, and it's Zelen off as well. Didn't quite see the guilty party, unfortunately, but there you have it. So that's the situation for Tequila Monkey and for Finn. But Arya is ahead of Matty. We've got Wask in P3 on the medium tyres. We've got VRX and Dirtbag Larry here. Everyone's starting course on a full tank of fuel. Nasty in P6 in the Porsche for Hector Motorsports. We've got Apex Not Found in the sister BMW to Larry in 7th, with Bijan in 8th in the Morado purple and green. Then come the Oro pairing Porsches in P9 and 10 of Red and Phil. Uncle Pants in 11th with Nicky Lauder in 12th. Finn and Tequila Monkey making out your top grid there. So Arya and Matty followed closely by Wask. What a great battle we've got going on for P2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as they run through this Estel Senna. This is where the dirty air effect will be extreme for the drivers, and it's about living with that dirty air and being able to use then the slipstream heading down in towards the Ciudad del Lago. We could have a move coming here. It's Nasty shaping for a move against Larry. Larry just using the middle of the track, but will Nasty be able to get the cutback on the way through the corner, and that short run in towards Ferradura, the right-hander horseshoe. He can't quite find his way in just yet, but we are seeing some really close racing already. There was a question about damage. Let's have a look if we can't see any damage on the cars who came unglued at the start. I'm not sure if it was Uncle Pants, or Nicky Lauda. There was definitely a Hector Motorsports colour in the mix there. But yes, a tiny bit of damage for Tequila Monkey on the left rear, as he and Finn go on the recovery. Now, Finn can't seem to buy any good luck. It was terrible at Willow Springs in our shakedown event. So absolutely crazy start here for Finn and for Tequila Monkey, but that should mean that the fast drivers come through the field later on. Here is on board with VRX then, as we chase down and we get a good view of what's happening in front. From behind we can see Dirtbag Larry and Nasty continuing to fight on the way through. Let's see if we can see any moves coming from in front here. I'm not sure. It's going to come down into the Estel Senna, and it's still Nasty looking very, very threatening on Larry. Very different lines for the two different cars, the German auto manufacturers, BMW and Porsche, with their decades long rivalry here. The 77 of Larry and Nasty in the 320, right on the outside through Desida del Lago. Carbon copy of the previous lap there, as Larry is very much on the defensive. Everybody taking the medium tyres at the start of the race today. I think we have to change compound, but that is the only requirement. And that does appear to be where our moves are going to come. Tequila Monkey has been able to get past Pat Finn. I don't know if we can see where that happened. No, unfortunately, that happened at least before Desida del Lago. So we now have Arya 3.7 seconds in the lead of this race, just laughing at pretty much at the front of the grid with no trouble, nothing to fight over, and lots of fans just enjoying the show so far. Matty in P2, Wask in third, VRX in fourth, and still Larry and Nasty fighting over fifth and sixth position as they run through. The tiny bit of lag possibly for Wask to see on Matty's car. That Peugeot just jinking around very slightly. So what does that mean to the drivers? Well, pretty much they just have to allow a few extra inches in their battles. But at the moment, the McLaren is slow down the straights with versus the Peugeot, who goes all the way round the outside. Sorry, that's VRX round the outside, but unfortunately running out into the marbles. Meanwhile, you've got Dirtbag Larry and Nasty fighting over this next position. And we'll see if we can just see exactly what happened there for VRX. That was very late on the brakes, too late, and out onto the marbles, sadly, and then tucking back in. So he lives to fight another day for sure, but he falls back towards the clutches of Dirtbag Larry and Nasty, with Wask and Matty continuing their battle for P2, but Matty still holding on. Unfortunately, these drivers just slowing each other down, and here is Nasty nibbling away at the rear of that BMW for Dirtbag Larry, who with absolute class has got his name on the license plate on the back of the car. There you can just see it. Fantastic from him. And behind him then is Nasty. Look, that Hector Motorsports car looks fast, standing still, and a great jump dive down into Bico di Pato, and man, has Nasty been waiting for that opportunity. That has taken a great deal of patience, and he's tucked on the left hand side here, possibly feigning a move. It's a little bit of a dummy on the outside, and then a classic Bico di Pato dive bomb onto the apex. A touch between them, but nothing particularly harmful there between both drivers, as then it's the turn of Larry to get hot on the heels here. As was hearing from Renz that Bijan has made a move, but Larry looks like he's shaping up here for a bid for that P5 again on the outside. Big cutback coming early onto the power, and cutting that apex should hopefully get away with that one. And it's so close between himself and Nasty, who can't quite get away from that. Nasty shapes to the inside, holds firm here. Will Larry decide to cut back? Not quite. That is so close. It's almost too close to battle between the two of them. Bijan in P7 is ahead of Red, the two Germans. The German Red ahead of the Spanish resident, Apex Not Found, as they run into the next corner. Red currently in that Porsche Team Oro black and gold livery with the red flashes, according to his name, of course, and the anime, I think it's a cat or a Pokemon mouth on the Porsche, which replaces the moustache we had last season. I think that looks like an Optimus Prime transfer across the nose of the Team Murado Ferrari here, but that's Bijan, who's made his move up to P7 ahead of Red, and Apex Not Found in the BMW is just ahead of Phil, also for Team Oro. And then what a hugely tightly fought battle this is at the back of our order. It's Nicky and Tequila Monkey, our 2024 top tier champion. Before we had such a thing as GT3 races here at SVR, Tequila Monkey was champion. Look at Finn following Tequila Monkey past Nicky, who loses 2 positions in that run. So that's great positioning from Pat Finn. And let's have a look at how that one worked. You can see that Tequila Monkey, that was the opportunity for Nicky to cut across, but he wasn't confident that he could cut across the nose of Pat Finn and back into a better position, deposing Nicky at this time. And we're watching on board with Pat Finn as Tequila Monkey tries down the inside into Decido de Lago, but he does look like he's got slightly too far behind. Meanwhile, in the background, it's still Nicky fighting hard. The top 14 still very much together, which is great to see, although Arya is very much checking out at the front of our race. We'll go check on him in a few minutes, but meanwhile, look at this. Fantastic battling for our Totoro. Thank you, Renz. I appreciate it. Totoro, as in Oro. So they've worked hard on their pun game. I'm afraid I'm not too au fait with that, but yes, thank you for the. I'm probably going to need reminding of that a lot of times, unfortunately. So at the back here we've got Phil, Tequila Monkey, and Finn. In front of Phil is the Hector Motorsports Porsche of Uncle Pants. Different Porsches, I think, in operation here. The teams ran a draft for who got the order to pick their preference of GT3 cars. Look at Red go behind Bijan. Red hassling the back of Bijan, getting that slipstream, then putting himself on the outside into the Esto Senna. And no way through at the moment, but he should get a slightly better run off this Curva del Sol, and he puts himself way out on the outside. That was Bijan protecting the inside for the upcoming Decido de Lago, but Red has put himself in a great inside line position. He'll have to brake slightly earlier, will he? Gets the apex first, and through goes Red, reclaiming that place from Bijan. Really worked hard to get into that position, but a fantastic overtake in the end. You can see he wasn't quite level as they went into the corner, but made sure of the apex and essentially forcing Bijan to put himself in a wider position then on the way through the corner. But a great pass between these great drivers. And at the back here, you've still got Pat Finn fighting with Nicky, and they are really, really hard fought. You would think that with the qualifying differences between the cars that they would be in better nick here. But it's McLaren versus Ferrari at the back of the grid, which is Zelen versus Team Morado. Out front, you can see Arya, a 4-second lead, but he's not really extending that lead at this stage. And why would he need to bother at this point? We don't have pace cars, but you're just spending more out of the tyres than maybe you need to, and compromising your own strategy. This is Wask in P2. How about this? From winning the Rookie AN division in the downforce cars last season to running second in the G1 division, skipping that G2 division essentially, is Wask. VRX is in P3. We've got Matty down in P4, so Matty has dropped down 2 places since we last checked in on the lead, as he might be another one because Nasty's going down for the inside. There's contact with Nasty, living up to his name possibly, but certainly making contact and pushing the VRX car out wide. Matty actually getting a 1.5 second penalty for that. Let's have another check of that, because you can check the rights and the wrongs. There you can see pushed out wide, is stamped on the throttle to get back onto it, and then unfortunately got a penalty for that situation there. Unfortunately, that is injury on top of insult for Matty. He's now down to P6. Dirtbag Larry got through that gap, and opportunistic from Larry, didn't necessarily earn that position, but it was the door was forced open from Nasty, and then the penalty to pay. You can still see for Matty, he's going to drop off the back of this group and have a tough time getting back into the position. Let's go back to that. Well, we said a lot of action. P2, 3, 4. I think that's. P2 and 3 are fairly distant. It's pretty much 4, 5, 6, I think, where the main action is on the grid at the moment. Thank you, though, for your notes. It's really useful from everybody. Here is Dirtbag Larry. You can see Matty has dropped hugely far back. That's cost him 3.6 seconds, that 1.5 second off throttle penalty on the way up the hill and over the longest full throttle section of our racetrack today. Dirtbag Larry then still in a good position, just 7.5 seconds off the lead of the race. Everybody's starting this race on the medium tyres, so remember they have to change compound only, and we have a 6 times time multiplier on Just two-time tyres, two-time fuel for the race today, but I believe that changes throughout the season, so the drivers are going to be kept on their toes with different conditions, different amounts of light changing. We are likely to finish in the sunset or even in the night condition today. People were suggesting we might see the moon, but I think it might be a little bit overcast to see the moon out there today, or tonight I should say. There's Matty wearing the Union flag on his helmet. We've got Red in P7, who has stayed half a second ahead of the Team Murado Ferrari 296 of Bijan. Here he is. Beautiful looking car. But so many of our designs are absolutely stunning here this season. Apex Not Found in P9. And Uncle Pants being followed by Tequila Monkey. Now, there was a little bit of contact earlier on between Tequila and a Porsche, or at least a purple car. I'm not sure who it was, whether it was Pants or whether it was Nasty, but they're side by side. There's more contact here. I swear Tequila Monkey doesn't like the colour scheme on his Azul Racing car, because he's trying to get rid of as much paint as possible as we race through then the Estel Center and out of Curva del Sol. There's not a lot of Sol to see today in Interlagos, but there was a little bit of contact on the way into the first corner, but yielding back, didn't want to make an overtake that way. And we see that very often from Tequila Monkey. Doesn't like to trust in a steward decision or a 50-50 move going his way. Prefers to do the moves in the correct way as much as possible. Behind him we've got Phil in the Oro Totoro Porsche, and behind him Finn in 13th. Nicky has been gapped though now. Nicky switched out onto the soft tyres, feeling perhaps that he was getting held up in battles, and look at that as he puts in a purple sector on his second lap. He's put in the fastest lap of 32.6 so far. So you've got to say that is a great, could be a really, really big brain move from Nicky Lauda, making his pit stop and heading back. At the front of the grid, Arya still leads by now just 3.2 seconds, as Wask is starting to reel him in and bring VRX into the fray with him in the RCZ, as that's closed up as well. So Arya going a little bit slower than P2 and P3 in turn, as VRX, who I know has got lots of support with this here in the video today, powers on out of the Curva del Sol, down the Reta Aposta, and looking for a weakness in the game of Wask, and they don't come very often. I know this because I raced him last year, and he was almost faultless once he joined us and got used to the car. So we will see. But the McLaren, not the finest of choices, not the highest on anybody's priority list, especially with the top speed, but it should handle very nicely in the twisty, turny middle sector of this Interlagos racetrack, where we do see a fair few overtakes from time to time. It's also a car to be very confident on the brakes, which is really important, obviously. We've got Nasty in P4, chased by Dirtbag Larry, and they are they're playing chicken with each other to see how much grass they can take on the way out of Pinarena. This is the M6 GT3, as I mentioned earlier, for the Obsidian team, and they are following the Hector Motorsports. You can see the sun is already dropping. The headlights have come on our race cars. Matty in P6. We've got Apex Not Found in no man's land here, 6 seconds away from 6th, 3 seconds away from 8th. And then following him, we've got Uncle Pants, Tequila Monkey, and in short order, Phil and Finn. In a 4-car battle pack on the way up the hill, as they continue then their relentless pursuit back to the top of the tree here. Can we get a check on Arya's tyres, says Dummy. So what happened to Red is the question. I think he must have pitted. He looks like he hasn't pitted, in fact. I don't know what happened to Red, but there's no damage on the car, thankfully. Here is Arya and his tyre wear situation. I tell you what, let's give you some Mate or VRX to watch, as I think he's just gone into the lead of the race, into second place, has he? Or they're battling hard, and they were side by side for a moment. That was Wask wide on the entry into the second part of Descida del Lago, as Mate gets his nose ahead. Can he be confident enough to turn in? No, he leaves the space on the inside here. So this is how things were. Let's see how things currently are. He's back behind Wask, and they will be holding each other up a little bit right now. I think I gave you a quick view of Arya's tyres. There they are. Very, very neutral actually right now. Arya's tyres in the Lamborghini as we watch the battle for P2. And you can see the POV on picture-in-picture of VRX here as we go. And I see that was a popular move as Andre Barbier is happy to see VRX. There we go, down towards the low side on the way in. This is the favourable line on the way into curve 1. Oh, that was a hip check. Wask will know that from hockey in Canada, and unfortunately that was a very questionable move potentially. Let's watch that again from his point of view as we watch on the way in here. He's trying to stay as wide as possible and turn in. Oh dear. But unfortunately that was just bounced straight out onto the exit there, and then of course he's sitting and waiting to get back on the racetrack. That's him out and back into P5. So with a lot of time lost there. It's now 13.2 seconds away from the lead of the race. VRX on his own in P2. Dirtbag Larry in between himself and also Matty with Wask in 5th place. So that was very, very tricky moment for him. Wask, no damage on the car, thankfully, but yeah, possibly a little bit of a questionable move that Wask might seek some steward guidance on. Anyway, post race, Wask losing time then as a result, but maybe he'll be starting to think about a different strategy. Now he's stuck in traffic in the number 10 with Nasty in P6 behind him. You've got Matty in front in the Porsche, in the RCZ, and the Porsche behind the McLaren as they run through. You can see the daylight fading here, and that was a costly lap for Wask. Let's see him as he crosses the line. We will see how close he gets then. How much time he loses. The previous lap was a late 1 minute 33. That one a 42 9-second loss as a result of waiting his turn to get back on the racetrack. We've got Apex Nofan, as I said before, in 7th. Finn ahead of Tequila Monkey and Phil there, and starting to really unlock some pace now. He's on his own, and then you've got Tequila Monkey who's made his way by Phil. Phil is now fighting to hold on to 10th place with seeing purple in his mirror left and right, and Hector Motorsports Morado trying to catch that toe. Bijan has dropped down here, unfortunately, as we head into Decido del Lago. That's Phil holding firm on the inside line, on the middle of the track anyway, trying to dissuade the drivers behind from having a look down into the corner. And then he's still defending into La Ranjina, and there's contact and a huge slide. Can we hang on to it? Not quite. A tank slapper then for Uncle Pants. Sadly, as he drops down, he might actually beach the Porsche here, and it might go back downhill again. It's not going to be an easy turnaround for Uncle Pants, I'm afraid to say. And he'll cross the racing line, of course, to get back on. But look at this. That was contact into La Ranjina for Phil, unfortunately. And then it's nightmare time to try and get back onto the racetrack, and we saw how difficult that was going to be, dropping down to the back of the grid. So Niki Lauda, having made a pit stop onto the soft tyres, is back into P13 now, 44 seconds off the lead, but pumping in some good lap times. Let's see, 32. Look at those lap times from Niki now that he's been set free from the traffic. Arya in the Lamborghini leads by 4.5 seconds just about on the racing medium tyres, using about 48 litres of his 100 litre starting fuel. VRX is in P2 out there, and I will give you a driver perhaps in the POV who is a little bit closer to the drivers around him. Let's see who I can find. We haven't seen Bijan. I would love to give you Nasty's POV, but I can't, sadly. How about Matty? We haven't seen Matty yet, so let's run with him as we just wait for the Twitch stream to start up. Unfortunately, we'll get there. VRX in P2, Dirtbag Larry in P3, 7 seconds off P2 now, and then we've got Matty. We're just about to join his POV here. There it is, and there is Matty, ready to show you what he is able to do. It's great to have everybody's different streams on board here. There is Matty in P4 and Wask in P5, and Andre saying push VRX, push. Absolutely, it's time to push like hell. And Jailhouse Chris cheering on the Obsidian team. Always good to have lots of people here for their teammates as well. Wask in P5 currently, Nasty less than a second behind him as they run through to cross the line and start lap 16 of a fixed lap race, lap 37. That does make refueling quite easy for the drivers. Why? Because when they get the refueling question, there is a handy little diamond that shows them exactly how much fuel they need for the end of the race. Looks like we've got some action happening here. This is Finn versus Apex Not Found. Let's ride on board as a passenger here. A pretty active passenger, you have to say. Pat Finn on those medium tyres. On the McLaren, unlocking quite a lot of pace now. He qualified, I think it was 5th or 6th, and there is a little bit of contact, sadly, between the drivers. Let's go back and, well, look, Pat Finn has actually said, actually, do you know what, I don't want to overtake like that. So he tries to get that inside line onto the corner. Does he? As he turns in, and then a little nudge. But then you actually see Pat Finn say, no, I'm not going to gain a position that way. Let's keep fighting and do it the right way next time round. And here he is then, still behind Apex Not Found, and a little touch there. But certainly when you wait for the driver, there's very little in the way of complaint. That was a good tuck in from him through Bico di Pato and through the Magulo corner. Side by side they go. It's still not quite there for him against this BMW M6, a much longer wheelbase car, the M6 GT3, and it does look like Apex Not Found is struggling to get the power down smoothly out there. If you don't leave live chat in English, I'm not likely to understand it. I can probably guess at French, a little bit of Spanish, but not Croatian, I'm afraid. Anyway, look how quickly it's gone dark here at Interlagos. It's one of the darkest circuits because it's really not well lit apart from the main pit and paddock area. It's a bit like Suzuka in that sense, but it does make for some very atmospheric and enjoyable racing views, no doubt. Here is Pat Finn. He's got possibly the inside line on the way into the corner. They made contact in before, and now it's done. And now he lined him up nicely and has got by Apex Not Found. Tequila Monkey hoping to follow through, but it's cost Finn a lot of time making that pass. And there's no reason why Apex Not Found should not have made his life really difficult for Pat Finn. And there's Tequila Monkey just testing Apex Not Found's patience. Possibly it looked like contact from our view there off board, but not. It might not be. It could just be a little bit of lag. Into Bico di Pato we go, and that looks like a move all the way around the outside from Tequila Monkey this time. That was much cleaner and tidier. You don't see that very often around the outside here. This is through the Pinorino corner, which I think means hairpin or something similar. Around the outside, look at this. Very, very tidy one from Tequila Monkey there. Out into, what is that, P8 now. And then streaking away from the BMW Obsidian Apex Not Found car. Phil's not far away in P10 with Red in 11th with an unexplained drop down into this P11. We've got Bijan, who has not pitted. Bijan has also got damage on the car, and if you remember, Tequila Monkey does have a little bit of damage as well. Then you've got Nicky Lauda in P13 and Uncle Pants, who must have been off the circuit. Yeah, we did see him, didn't we? Trying to recover on the way through Ferradura on the infield, where it slopes down nastily towards the lake in the middle of the circuit. Arya only leads now by 2.5 seconds because VRX is hunting him down, which is fantastic. Looks like Hector left the chat, says Woody, but is back. Okay, awesome. Thank you. You do need to keep an eye on me because I can't necessarily read Hector very easily on my screen. I'm using the main GT7 feed here. 2.2 seconds. VRX last lap 132.8 versus Arya's 133.6. So VRX getting quicker at this stage right now. And Ren's saying Red and Bijan had a meeting at the beginning of the start-finish straight. What did they discuss, I wonder, if in this meeting, and what action items resulted from it? 2 seconds the gap, less than 2 seconds for a very short period there between these cars. Let's give you some more VRX, shall we? Now that he is chasing down the car in front. What is that on VRX's POV? Tell me he hasn't got little indicators on the track where he needs to turn and for his racing line. Now, I'm sorry, I don't like that. Well, let me know if you think that is a-okay. But yeah, just he's got some help when the light starts to fail, and you're relying on your headlights around here. MatejD is not far behind Dirtbag Larry, who's putting in a really good. That's a paddling, says Scavvy. That's a penalty. Yeah, it's a paddling, says Scavvy. So yeah, I thought all kind of assists like that were actually turned off. I didn't think we were going to go ahead and allow that. So maybe it is a paddling, maybe it's a penalty. I'm not sure. Matty P4, Wask is in P5. And putting in some great laps at the moment, Wask, despite the fact that he came together with VRX, you can see the underlying pace of Wask. He's now 13 seconds away from Arya, his compatriot, and there is a nice overtake from him through Yun Sao. So a very good move from him through there. Let's see if we get any retaliation on the way up the hill. Matty has got a penalty, so he won't be retaliated on that way. See if I'm in time now to watch this overtake. Oh, okay. It wasn't quite as clean as I thought it might have been there from Wask, but we will see. Certainly, there was contact on the exit of the corner, and that helped Matty into another 2-second penalty, and that is going to hurt so much coming up the hill next time round. It's really going to hurt him. Yellow colour lights are much better for night driving, says white ones, says Andre. Interesting take on that, actually. Now, in what endurance championship I want to know, in the European endurance championship, GT Challenge, they have white lights for GT3s, yellow for GT4s. Whereas here it seems to be up to the teams as to what they're going for. So let's have a look. How does this look from the POV of Nasty? You can see limited visibility because generally speaking your eyes are not necessarily always in line with the center line of the car, and the headlights are not particularly wide angle, wide beams here. So as we run through, the gap for Mate closing at the front of the grid for a moment there, under a second. We'll go have a look at that, I think, because that is getting very close. Well, it's close-ish. Just over a second now as VRX is really putting in the laps. Up the hill we go, and over the hill now, over the top, down into the Estos Senna, and VRX goes pretty wide. It's 1.3 seconds there. I think he might have been getting a little bit overexcited at the braking points and how close he was to the cars around him. So we'll stay with him as he sets off in pursuit in POV, but I do want to make sure we see what else is happening in the grid. That was Matty after his penalty, looking a little bit leery on the colour there. As Finn comes through. He's in 7th place, remember, was pretty much 13th after Decido de Lago lap 1 through no fault of his own, as Tequila Monkey with that red flashing triangle on the left rear of his car, as the drivers are starting to feel the tyres now, and also the drop in grip will be quite considerable. It's a windy day, but with the daylight dropping, so will the track temperature, and they'll be sliding around a bit more and a little bit concerned. It's lap 21 of 37. So we're into the second half of the race and the drivers are still on their first set of medium tyres. But what I can tell you is that Tequila Monkey's right rear is his limited tyre today as he's gone through there. So 37 laps, VR equals 1,000 on TV monitor, says Matav. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but yeah, 37 laps. What, 1,000 kilometers are you saying? So that's pretty cool. Tequila Monkey then, P8 at the moment, 1.3 behind Finn, who is 6.2 behind Matty. Let's go back and see how close VRX is. Well, Arya has managed to keep him just outside of 1 second in the the gap. Look at those glowing front brake discs. I love to see it. Absolutely fantastic. The drivers, yeah, will be feeling tired now, says Andre, around here. Definitely fatigue will start to affect the drivers later on in the race, I feel fairly certain. But 0.8 of a second now between VRX and Arya. That's a 1:33.5. VRX is getting faster in this stage of the race, and a 33.8 for Arya that last lap. But they really are starting to really be reeled in there for Arya. Let's see what happens as they run through. I think they will do the whole tank of fuel on this set of medium tyres, and then they'll be switching out to the soft tyres. I think they're going to enjoy those soft tyres when they do get them on, and be able to use that new fuel as well. Matty looking like he really understands the track very well in these dark conditions. Sorry, VRX, I should say. I know his name is Matej, but you'll have to help me with the pronunciation. But VRX, I can just about do just a-okay. But a half-second penalty for him, as he's just gone slightly past the track limits. That will hurt, so he'll have to try and get the job done quite quickly, or use the slipstream here. Coming through the turn 3, Curva del Sol, he goes, as you'll see them now. As we get to the inside line of this Desierto del Lago, you often see that glowing front brake disc on the turn-in point. Hopefully we'll see it very soon. Yellow headlights for Arya's Lamborghini, white headlights for the RCZ, or RCZ if you prefer, as we run into... I know we've got more Canadians and UK people in the league and the audience than we have Americans, so I'll go for RCZ. As the Peugeot is competing right now very nicely with that Lamborghini Huracan, which has just been retired, I think, from GT3 racing on track. How to use this map overlay and live standings. It is not the pinned engineer view. I do have a separate view for that. If you go to svr-racing.com, you'll find live races somewhere in the view, and you can then actually see that on a kind of red live button. You can see that, and then you can pin whatever view you want over the top of that as well. That's what I use anyway. It's a fantastic custom design for this league. I think, is that Arya in the pits? It is Arya in the pits now, off the medium tyre with 25 litres left in his tank. So that penalty won't hurt VRX as much as perhaps it was likely to, with Arya pitting. So is Dirtbag Larry. Wask's in the pits as well. Looks like lap 23 is the one for everybody. Nasty's gone by the pit lane. It's now Matty Kake in P5. I still haven't got to the... I don't know if it's Matty Cake or just Matty, or maybe it's Matic Ake. I don't know. We need to sort that out. But the vast majority of the drivers into the pit lane now. There's Tequila Monkey. Red is going by and is going to gain track position here. He's got quite a few laps left in those tyres if he continues, as Andre likes that strategy. Bravo VRX for staying out, trying the overcut and trying to pit with clear track rather than new tyres on the way through. We've got Uncle Pants gaining some positions, I believe. Finn comes through and is not going in the pit lane either. We know Nicky's already been in, but he's been in the lap before this one for another set of soft tyres, and Bijan also on the softs as well. VRX has a 12-second gap out to the P2, Nasty, but the important one is the gap to Arya, 34.2 seconds. And now VRX has to make the most of this lap, because it means that while Arya has a little bit of traffic ahead and he's got those new tyres to generate the heat into, I think that VRX might have a shot here at an overtake. It will depend on the amount of fuel he has to take on as well. The RCZ is quite an economic car to run, but he's running light on fuel now. Arya's fuller on fuel with half a tank of fuel on the car. Just drops into 10% mark, does VRX. And I wonder if now he decides this is the moment, because while Arya is warming up his tyres, this is the time when he is the fastest, but he's gone around for a second lap here to try and get that tyre offset. So 12.6 seconds between VRX in P1 and Nasty in P2. But Arya now gains a position on Red, who pits. Red in the pits, so that's going to help Arya, who runs a 1:49.9 outlap. a 1:53.4 in lap. And now we will see the relative pace between Arya and VRX, and whether I would imagine Arya is much faster on up to temperature soft tyres. VRX has the opportunity now to pit. We'll see what his engineer says. Most of our drivers will be running team engineers here. For Team Argento, that is VRX's engineer. I haven't heard who everyone's engineers are, so you have to speak up if you're engineering and listening to the stream. I'm sure that would be a little bit audio overload. But maybe at this time, maybe at this point in the race, it's the time that you most want to make that change. 25 of 37, 12 complete laps to run. Here is VRX. Is it pit stop time for the RCZ driver? Absolutely. So Argento pit and absolutely full chat going on in. And we'll cut over to Arya then and see what his lap is looking like. This is his current first flying lap for Arya. This is essentially for the lead of our race, the Lamborghini versus the Peugeot, and it looks like VRX was pretty low on his Scabby is engineering ZLN. Excellent. Oh, thanks, Scabby. Appreciate that. I don't know if you've got the face cam on as well, but I'll give you a wave if you have. Hi to Scabby there. Actually, yeah, it's not showing my hand on the face cam. VRX in P1, Nasty in P2, Matty in P3. Arya comes out of the pit lane. Look at this. Sorry, Arya passes the pit lane for VRX. Where is VRX on track? I can't see him. The track map's not functioning, sadly. And he's on his way out, is VRX. But Arya has gained a huge delta. A 53.3 was the in lap for VRX. Arya's was a 53.4. Nothing between the two of them. And now it's all about regaining that position. But 7.9 seconds between Arya and VRX with the undercut from Arya. That is insane. Hector's died. Can I remove the overlay? Yeah, absolutely. There you go. We will lose a POV. So unfortunately, but that is yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. But what I also can do, no, if Hector is properly died, I tell you what, I'll refresh and see if it starts to work for us. But yeah, it does look like Hector is properly dead. So thank you for that, Grinch. I appreciate the feedback there. That really helps. 7.9 seconds, Arya to VRX. So now VRX, with that tyre offset, has a really tough time of trying to make this one work. Wask is in P3 now, has got ahead of Larry, and everybody switching onto the softs if they haven't already done so. But of course, we did see Nikki come in. We saw Bijan come in before the main main top runners here. Dirtbag Larry's going quicker in that beautifully front disc glowing Obsidian BMW M6 GT3, and behind him we've got Larry in the Porsche as well. I probably didn't give the liveries enough of a review here, but if anyone wants to make an intro video with their team or all the teams with escapes video or something, I will happily show that at the start of the next one. So 13 to 37 laps says a Grinch, but 10 to go. Plus the one that they are on right now. Dirtbag Larry 1 second away from Wask, and then VRX 7.9 second job here for him to do. Let me just try and get Hector to wake up. I don't think he's going to wake up, unfortunately. No, I think he's properly dead and crashed on us. So sadly, it looks like Hector has reached capacity for today. So there is an opportunity to contribute to the league to help us with a faster server for Hector to run. Anyway, Wask in P3, Dirtbag Larry in P4. Do go onto the website and have a look at merch that helps the channel and the league grow, and also ways in which you can support. Just from like $1 a month will help us no end if we get lots of people doing that. It's really important. Likewise, you can find a Webo t-shirt on my YouTube channel or my merch store linked from there as well. It's Nasty in P5, it's Tequila Monkey in 6th, followed by Matty and Finn. As we continue, we've got Matty in P7 going a little bit wide, and Finn just 0.8 of a second away from him. I'll try and keep my eye on the track map as well, but unfortunately the GT7 track map is really really difficult to follow, isn't it, in comparison to our one. So our Hector view with the numbers and everything. Helicopter still circulating in the dark above the race here at the moment, as we will join on board with Matty here. Remember, we're keeping an eye on the car behind, but it's only 0.4 of a second away from Tequila Monkey. Matty looking really good on these soft tyres. This is the, oh, lovely little turbo whistle. Not turbo whistle. Off throttle clutch whistle there from the RCZ. It is a turbo whine, as he then follows the Lamborghini Azul car in front. And looks like he has got the car underneath him a lot better than Tequila Monkey in front of him. And Matty with much better grip on the way into the corners. He'll go side by side in towards Ferradura and Laranjina. Tequila Monkey on the better position here, but the cutback is an option of open to the RCZ. That's a lot of movement under braking, possibly. We'll have a look at that from the chase cam. One of those two drivers was moving like hell on the way into SA corner. Let's have another look at this. So we go from the outside, we try the cutback. Behind him, we've got Pat Finn waiting, and then you think Tequila's going to go to the inside. Oh, he was really caught between two decisions. Absolutely all square and fair from Tequila Monkey with using the middle of the road run here. Out of Yuan Sao, looks like Pat Finn has got a good run in the McLaren, but he needs every bit of slipstream to make the pass there. A really interesting last 10 laps, says Andre. And Oscar is cheering on Tequila and Arya as well. What's that, dive bomb? Rizback, possibly. Your emojis, difficult to tell on the YouTube chat here, but welcome Oscar if you've just joined us. You've just started chatting with us anyway. As Pat Finn, half a second behind Matty, who is just 0.7 of a second behind Tequila Monkey. Go down Reta Raposta on lap 29, and this is Pat Finn with a best first sector of anybody, thanks in part to the double slipstream he's getting from the cars in front. We will check out, I think I can still see where Arya and, let's have a look, Arya and VRX are. So Arya's made it out of Mergulio. VRX is going through Mergulio. So we'll go back to Pat Finn, and then Apex Not Found is 7 seconds further back from Pat Finn. We'll follow this battle right now. What happens behind around Nicky, says Rents. We'll have a look in that in a moment, but we've got 3 drivers close together right now. So we will check in with the rest of them. Nicky has stopped, as far as I can see, twice to go medium, soft. I'm not even sure that Nicky's second set of softs are going to reach the end of the race, but we will see. Pat Finn in the McLaren with better grip to the apex of Yuan Sao, but it doesn't really help him there with the torque of the Peugeot as they go up the hill. But he then recatches thanks to the slipstream. But that first phase of the straightaway for Pat Finn out of Yuan Sao, it's a very poor acceleration in the McLaren, you've got to say, but it's not hurting him right now. Wask with the fastest lap, a 1:31.855 at this point. Behind them, we've got Apex Not Found and Nicky, 0.2 of a second separating them. Fabulous to see these two continuing to fight. Remember, Nicky had early dramas and early pit stop. And there's a question over whether those softs will go another 7 laps comfortably. I don't think anything's comfortable about today's racing for anyone. It's a tough day. Perhaps Arya is feeling the most comfortable, but he was definitely just over 1 second away from VRX for a while there. Here is Nicky fighting hard. Can he get to the inside into Ferradura? Not quite, but he's pushing very hard. The Obsidian BMW driver Apex Not Found in front of him, and there's possibly a tuck in here into S8, and he sweeps around the outside of the Pinerino corner. That was well worked, well fought for. Great overtake there from Nicky. Well, let's have a second look at that one as we run through. Pat made a move, says Dummy. So this is outside to inside. That was very, very late. I think they avoided contact, but that was pretty much down to Apex Not Found for making sure that didn't end up in trouble. We've got Apex Not Found then in 10th, Red in 11th, chasing this group, and then Bijan in 12th, Uncle Pants 13th, and Phil in 14th. Phil's just spun off. Phil's off the track on the exit of Laranjina. Let's have a second look Oh, big slide, and just couldn't catch the back of the Porsche. Beautiful tail light on the Porsche, but unfortunately, yeah, straight off and into the scenery for Phil. Arya, 5.8 seconds. That has dropped back to VRX. Wask now has a little bit of breathing room to Dirtbag Larry behind. Someone's saying Pat's made a move. I think he's still behind at the moment, so it didn't complete. Andre saying lawnmower. Yeah, very expensive lawnmower, that Porsche. I don't think it's very effective either. It does have a nice splitter on the front, but unfortunately the front of the splitter radius is controlled under the regulations. It's not a very effective blade for cutting the Interlagos grass out there, which I imagine is never particularly dry either. Finn in P8, 0.8 of a second away. As Dummy said, he made a mistake the moment he... well, you see, if you hadn't said anything, Dummy, either A, would that have happened, or B, would we have noticed? So Finn can thank Dummy for the assist there, not me. 3/4 of a second for Finn to Matty as they chase up the hill. Yeah, I'm quite happy if engineers get blamed for that. Turn exposure up and we'll see. Yeah, I definitely agree, Matav. I will remember to do that next time we're running a day to night transition. The problem is during the day, especially if it's sunny, it's hard to watch. It's so bright if you turn it all the way up, but I will remember that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Nikki in P9. And Apex not found in 10th. Obviously, it wasn't a problem today because it was covered in cloud, and I should have done that. But yeah, lot to do at the start of the race, especially getting Hector configured. It's quite a heavy workload here on my end anyway. Well, for my brain power. Apex not found in 10th, and Red chasing him down under 0.6 of a second for a moment there. It's lap 32 of 37. VRX has a 3-lap tyre offset, I believe, as Red seems to have a small tyre offset to Apex Not Found in front. I think Apex Not Found stopping a little bit earlier than the cars who are now challenging him and suffering for it. I wonder how Red is feeling in the Porsche. He was gone from the Ferrari last season, the 458 Italia, which was an absolute rocket ship off the line. But not great at top speed, to the Porsche, which is a rear-wheel drive car. So, front engine, rear engine, rear-wheel drive. So all the weight is at the back, especially as the fuel burns off. So I wonder how he's feeling about that, Renz. Let me know, Renz. What's his feeling about the Porsche? Is there a sense of national pride that's helping this cope with the oversteer? Does he naturally prefer an oversteering car as well? Exactly, Matav. Yeah, only when it's night, but because we've got a day to night race here, but it is nice and atmospheric, and nobody, no sim platform out in the world does day to night weather and light effects like Gran Turismo. Was that a problem for Apex Not Found? He was slightly off there for a second. Ren's happy with the Porsche. Good. Okay. I was digging for a few more juicy details there, but Ren's being the consummate professional and keeping his son and his preferences and problems with the car to himself. So I absolutely respect that. That was a great overtake from Red, actually, as we go down through into Decido del Lago. You have to say the gap was left there on the inside from Apex Not Found, and Pity with his choice of name there, back into a good position for Red, then back up to P10. Let's have a look at VRX. 4.4 seconds. Time might be running out though as we cross the line to start lap 34. Time is running out to close a 4.3 second gap, but he can now see his rival Arya for the win. So Ren's saying too excited about everything to type. No worries. It's VRX in P2, 4.2 seconds away from the lead of the race. Wask has Dirtbag Larry just 1 second away from him, chasing him down, almost lighting up the back end of the McLaren Zelen Racing Team car. And Dirtbag Larry continuing to put the pressure on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, Arya, VRX and Wask possibly Larry still within a shout of the third step of our podium. Nasty in fifth, Tequila Monkey just ahead of Finn, I believe, at last check. Let's have a look. It's 3 seconds now between Tequila Monkey and Finn, who has only 3/4 of a second gap between himself and Matty Cake in P8. Nicky is a little bit further back. Red, I would imagine Red's A-OK now. Starting to open the gap to Apex Not Found, who has got a difficult situation with his tyres at the moment. Bijan very much on his own, so is Uncle Pants and Phil at the rear in the Totoro Porsche. How are Larry's tyres? says Dummy. Let's go over to Larry and have a look. Well, yeah, the front right's a little bit questionable, but I think they'll reach the end of the race okay. I don't think anybody's going to fall off the circuit at the moment. GTHR is being dropped quite a lot. Is that a race server or team that VRX usually represents, perhaps? Yeah, filtering through then. It's lap 35 of the 37. Arya, VRX and Wask. Dirtbag Larry knocking on the door of that podium right now, and we've got some close battles towards the back here. Is that still Finn and Matty? It is. 0.6 of a second, 0.4 of a second all of a sudden between the two, as Finn is struggling out of Curva del Sol. Matty's got better tyres at this stage. The detail on the curbs there lit up as the drivers blast by our camera position, and Matty putting in a personal best sector there. There is Brum. Nice Brum for you to show up to see us just after your race, I'm sure. Good to see you, and hopefully we'll get you in on the commentary VC at some point in future as well. I know we've got a lot of people asking for that, especially Larry, who wants to hear you back on the mic. So Sock saying let's go Azul, Argento and Zelen, and just F everybody else. Sock. Thanks, Andre. Appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback and for the stream as well. We work hard to bring you the best action possible. Matty's got his hazard lights on as he chases down Pat Finn here. Finn, I think, I'm not sure how Finn will be feeling. Frustrated at the start, pleased with the recovery, I imagine at this point. Andre's saying, don't worry about it, dude. We misspell stuff all the time here. It's perfectly understandable. Here comes Matty. Finn is defending down the low side, and now the middle, and a little touch between them as they come towards that Estel Senna. And Matty, could he lean on Finn into the corner? There's a touch, possibly, and Matty goes through. We will just have a replay of that to see if the contact was significant. I think it was okay at first view, but let's have a look at that. Here we go, round the outside. Well, yeah, there was definitely contact on the way towards this one, and then we'll see. Oh, the tiniest of touches, but that was probably enough to put Finn into the wide moment, and I'm not sure how that Finn will be enjoying that. He's a very clean driver, and he doesn't like contact. We are generally a non-contact sport, motorsport, but at GT racing we do allow a little bit more down in the Formula cars for obvious reasons. Matty on the better tyres at this stage, now starting to put a gap here on Pat Finn, who may have to settle for 8th position, failing anybody else's issues. Nicky has a 1 second penalty that'll bring him right into the clutches of Red as they come through. Then we've got Apex Not Found in 11th and Bijan in 12th, but this is Red and possibly Apex Not Found, who might suddenly get a chance on Nicky on the way into what will be the final lap of our 37 here. Uncle Pants in 13th, Phil in 14th. The gap at the front, Arya, 2.4 seconds, and he'll be hearing the Jaws music of VRX's Peugeot approaching. But this is now the final lap into the Ciudad del Lago. Time, I think, has run out. I'm not sure the strategy worked for VRX. There's certainly the overcut isn't working brilliantly for him as we come through. Arya was the pole position, has pretty much led, despite except through the pit stop portion, but he stuck to his plan here today. He's got the perfect amount of fuel on board, protected the soft tyres, and done everything possible to cement a first win here in the G Division for the start of this 2026 VR Sim Racing World Championship G1 Division. Looks like Arya is going to go through Yonsao, come out, and that's the last bit of drama for Arya now. 2 seconds it will be as he goes up the hill, and Arya with the long wait to the checkered flag as he gets further and further up this hill of Interlagos. Arya will be the winner of the first round of the championship, across the line to VRX, celebrating with a little weave to the end of the race. Wask comes through to take home the final step on the podium in P3 ahead of Dirtbag Larry and Nasty, who have pushed everybody to the limit today. Fantastic racing there. Tequila Monkey and Matty will be 6th and I think 7th position. Matty climbing the hill here. Finn will try and get the slipstream on the way through, but I don't think it's going to happen. Tequila Monkey 6th, Matty in 7th, and Finn in P8. Red did manage to get Nicky Lauda at the end there, thanks I think to the penalty. Let's just have a quick look. I think possibly he'd already had a problem, but let's see on the way up the hill. It was already done and dusted. So Red across the line in 9th, Nicky in 10th, Apex in 11th, Bijan in 12th, Uncle Pants in 13th, last one to finish because Phil has already crossed the line. And Arya is your winner for Azul Racing, as much as it was at the in the 2024 VR Sim Racing World Championship. Arya and Tequila Monkey on top for Azul. Tequila Monkey finishing ahead there. Arya didn't manage to compete a great deal last season, so it's great to have him back. But the good wishes, I'm sure, from the rest of the grid will end right now because they're quite happy to not have him do that again. Arya wins on a 58-minute, 8-second race ahead of VRX by 2.1 seconds. Wask in P3. These are provisional results. Don't forget we have independent stewards who review post-race penalties. We have Wask in 3rd, Larry in 4th, Nasty in 5th, Tequila Monkey, Matty and Finn rounding out the top 8. With Red, Nicky Lauda. It's a very Central European 9, 10, 11. Germany, Austria and Spain. Apex Not Fan at 11th. Bijan in 12th. Uncle Pants and Phil rounding out our 14 runners and riders. A fabulous and breathless start to our G1 season. Don't forget, subscribe to SVR Racing, subscribe to Webo Red 5, which is my channel, and make sure you are here paying attention because the G2 race will be published this week. We'll be back with the Formula Cars next weekend, and then in 2 weekends time back for this great G1 live round here at the next race of our championship. I hope you've enjoyed it today. If you have, make sure you leave something positive on the video underneath today. A big thank you to everyone who's made this race so enjoyable in the live chat. And if you haven't, then leave a nice positive comment as well in the post-race watch along. We will see you very soon. Don't forget, same time, same channel next week. But in the meantime, we'll see you hopefully for a replay as live commentary for G2. And from everybody here at SVR Racing and from myself, Webo, thank you so much for your time today. And we will catch you on the next race day.